Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is kinda weird from what I do normally, but is one I'm very hyped to do nonetheless. The Mesa Dual Rectifier is probably one of the most iconic metal amps ever. Since it got released back in the 90s, it has been used a lot in a bunch of metal records, and also by just casual users who have them at home. But sadly, most of us can't afford a new or even used dual rectifier. You could go for the more traditional way and use pedals that are trying to emulate that type of amplifier, or you could go by the way that we're going to see in today's video, that being amp sims VSTs for your computer. Today I will be taking a look at 10 different dual rectifier inspired VSTs. Some are very expensive, some are kinda cheap, some are even free. And today I will be testing them all out to see which ones are worth it and which ones are not worth it. For the sake of consistency, I'm going to try every single one of these with the same noise gate, the same boost, and the same impulse response, so you can truly hear the difference between each amplifier and not different cabinets, different effects, and all of that. So even the ones that have built-in impulse responses and even effects, they're going to be tried with the same impulse response and boost and noise gate, except for one because I couldn't change the impulse response from factory. As for the noise gate, I'm going to be using a Quasar effector silencer. For the boost, I'm going to be using a Mercurial TSC 1.1, and for the impulse response I'm going to be using the Ignite NAD IR with the ML Caps Halloween pack, specifically the Boogeyman. And the Boogeyman impulse response is, I think, a Mesa 4x12, so that's perfect. And I'm going to show them from what I think is worst to best, but with not in a specific order, if you know what I mean. In the beginning and at the end is not this is worse than this, but just in a category, you know, like these are mad, these are pretty nice, and these are pretty good. And I'm going to be using my Epiphone Les Paul Studio with Laundering Design humbuckers, and that is all going into my Behringer UM2 interface. There is no pre or post processing. This is just what Reaper records. So without anything else to say, let's go right into the VSTs. Okay guys, so here we are in the test. One thing I have to say before I start is that I'm going to be queuing all of the amplifiers the exact same way. That being gain at around 6, bass at middle, mid and treble at around 6, and if it has any other controls, they're going to stay neutral at 5. So presses, contour, low end, everything related to that is going to be just, you know, on the middle. And as you can see here, some of these amplifiers have you know, the rectifier settings and the tube settings. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm not going to tweak anything about that, so that's what you can expect as far as consistency for these amplifiers. So the first one we are going to take a look is the I.K Multimedia Amplitube. This is licensed, this was actually licensed by Mesa Boogie, so you can expect a really high fidelity, good sound, right? Well, let's find out. This is supposed to sound just like the real thing, okay? So let's hear how this sounds. This is on the channel tree on the modern setting, which is also what I'm going to use on every single amp given the option. And yeah, no, this doesn't sound really good. It sounds like it barely has any gain on it. That's with the gain at 6 and the boost, mind you. If I take off the boost real quick, this is how it sounds. That is barely any gain. And I know I said I'm going to keep the EQ consistent for every one of these, but just to show you really, let's put that gain knob all the way up, and this is how it sounds. I tweaked everything I could, I checked every option. That's apparently just how the amplifier sounds, which, if you are watching this video, you probably know that's not how a dual rectifier is supposed to sound. So yeah, the Amplitube 5 set, which to be fair comes with dozens more of amplifiers, cabinets, effects and everything, costs $300. But to be honest, as far as high gain stuff goes, that's just how Amplitube 5 sounds. They don't get that much better, at least for high gain. So yeah, that is the Amplitube 5 one. Let's go right into the next one. Okay, so this is the Plugin Alliance Brainworx Megadual. When I said I wasn't going to try one with a not IR input response going on, it was this one, because it doesn't allow for any third-party cabinets. It doesn't allow you to turn off the built-in input response thing. So yeah, as you can see, at least visually, this is a very high fidelity copy of the dual rectifier. So I'm going to be using it on the channel 3 in the modern setting with the EQ that I set previously, and this is how that sounds. As you can hear, a very vast improvement from the Amplitube 5 one. Just one thing, it sounds like it's trapped in a very shitty cabinet. Mind you, I turned off the other input response, so this is not like the input responses are fighting each other. This is the built-in input response for this amp. So yeah, it really doesn't sound that great. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. It sounds really bad. I'm very sorry about the Brainworx or the Plugin Alliance people. This sounds just like a very cheap modeling amp, you know, those beginner modeling amps, like the Fender Mustang and the PV Viper. It sounds like that, it doesn't sound good at all. And you can get the Plugin Alliance Brainworx Megadual for $149, so 150 bucks. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just can't recommend this. This sounds like $5 at best. As you will hear, there are some cheap ones and free ones that sound mild better than this, but whatever, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is the ML Sound Amped Roots. This is the Fluff amps, the other YouTuber that reviews all of that high-end equipment. This is his free signature thing he did with ML Sound. As you can see, this is the Mega Fluff, very obviously inspired in the dual rectifier. It's all EQ'd like I said I would EQ it. The cab is turned off and I'm not using the set effects on this, so let's hear how that sounds. Okay, so this sounds better. It still sounds, if I had to say my main criticism towards this amplifier is that it sounds like a very digital thing. I know these are all digital, but some of them don't sound that digital. This sounds good. This is usable. Well, it sounds pretty okay. It's very usable if you're just playing on your house, and considering this is free, it comes with a lot of effects, and although not very good one, it comes with some cabs on it. This is actually pretty decent. Sounds very fluffy. As I said, this is free. You can get this for absolutely free on the ML Sound website. So yeah, let's go right into the next one. So this is the ML Sound Amp Dual. As you can see, a very direct clone of the dual rectifier. And this is the channel 3 monitor with the EQ that I've used with the other amp sims. So let's see how this sounds. Okay, so this definitely is getting a bit closer. It's very thick, it has a lot of low end. It's kind of fuzzy. When I think dual rectifier, I think very tight chugs, and this is not chugging very tightly. It's very fuzzy, it's very brown. It doesn't have that, you know, growl and bite that the actual dual rectifier has. But it still sounds very okay, very usable. My main gripe with the ML Sound VSTs is that they do not sound like their price tags. This VST is priced at $65-ish because they price it on euros, so the conversion to dollar is approximately $65. I don't know if this was worth the $65. It sounds very fuzzy, very brown, and even when you EQ it, it's not very good. It's not great, but it's not the worst. But let's go right into the next one. Okay, so this is the Nalex Amplex. This is actually a very pretty nice VST because the idea is that you can set this amplifier to be anything you want. It comes with a bunch of presets that basically turns this amplifier into a bunch of different ones. As you can see, I'm using the Pectifier Modern B2, which according to the little readme thing, it says that it's a dual rectifier style amp. And the Modern B2, obviously the modern channel, the modern setting, sorry, on the channel 3, and this is how it sounds. Okay, so we are getting into the actual really good sounding ones. This is actually a very good sound that you could use for recording, just playing and all of that. And also has the upside that you can turn this into many other amplifiers like Marshalls, Oranges, Friedmans, Angles and all of that. This has a very chunky low end, but it doesn't get fuzzy. As you can see, you can adjust the low end and the power amp distortion so you can get even more low end. And I have the bass knob in the middle, so you can definitely adjust that. But it sounds really nice. And this one is great because the Nalex Amplex is actually free. You can get this and many other amplifiers from the Amplex for absolutely free. But yeah, let's go right into the next one. Okay, so this is the LePou or P.R.O.T.O LeCto. Very obviously a dual rectifier copy. As you can see, this has the orange and red options for types of aggressiveness, I guess. And the vintage, raw, and modern. I'm going to be using the red and modern with the EQ that I've used for every other amplifier. And this is how it sounds. Okay, this sounds fucking nice. It is a very compact but very tweakable type of VST. LePou makes some great VSTs, if I do say so myself. They are pretty versatile and usable. As you can see, this sounds more like a dual rectifier more than the Amplex, because this has that coffee type distortion. It's not super wet. If I had to describe it some way, it's very coffee, it's very growly, it has a ton of low end. It doesn't have a lot of mids, even with the middle knob turned over half. But yeah, it sounds really fucking nice. And you can get the LePou LeCto for absolutely free. This is one of the free ones. It is actually very great, and you can get it from his website. The link is going to be down in the description. Let's go into the next one. Okay, this is the Nembrini Audio Cali Jewel. Again, a very high fidelity, at least visually, type of amplifier. You can tell right away it's the Mesa dual rectifier. It has all of the options, the diode clipping, the all of the different channels with the tree settings and all of that. And I'm using again the channel tree with the modern setting with the EQ that I've used for every other amplifier, and this is how it sounds. Okay, yeah, again, this sounds very alike to a dual rectifier. It has that very coffee, aggressive, low end, those cube mids, and as a counterpart from the Amplitude 5 and the plugin alliance Brainworx, well, this is a very obvious physical copy of the dual rectifier. It actually delivers, and of this video I've tried the other channels and they sound really nice as well. So yeah, this is a very good option if you want that really high gain aggressive type of sound from a more known reliable brand. I get that some people are more skeptical about the free VSTs, so if you want some assured quality, this is the one to go to. And you can get the Nembrini Audio Cali Jewel for $137. It also comes with a very intricate impulse response loader, which is actually pretty good. For the sake of consistency, I'm using just the NAD IR, but that also sounds really good paired with the amp. But let's go to the next one. Okay, another VST from Nalex. As you can see, this is the Nalex dual Pectifier solo head. Very obviously a dual rectifier copy. This has two channels, the drive and the clean, and they have two modes, the Rev 1 and 2. I'm using the Rev 2 on the drive channel and the EQ that I've used with every other amplifier, so this is how that sounds. Wow, this sounds pretty great if I do say so myself. It sounds really tight, very high gain, very messy. Funny enough, it doesn't really sound very alike to the Amplex Pectifier model. I guess this is a very refined version of that type of EQing. This sounds really great. And for me, it sounds even greater, taking into consideration that this one is also free. You can get the Pectifier for absolutely free from the link in the description down below. And yeah, this is one of the great ones. It's insane that you can get this type of sound from a free plugin. But yeah, let's go into the next one. Okay, so this might be a shocker for a lot of people, but I am using the Bias FX 292 tread plate B2. And a lot of you will be like, what? But I've tried Bias FX 2 and all the amplifiers sound like ass. Okay, hear me out. If you are getting bad sounds from Bias FX 2, it's 100% on the impulse responses. Once you use third-party impulse responses, it sounds a million times better. I'm using the very obviously inspired tread plate 92 with the EQ that I've used for every other amplifier, and it sounds like this. Okay, at least in my opinion, that sounds really fucking fantastic. Obviously, there's much better sounds than this specific one, but for what it is and from what it comes into, it sounds really great. This is pretty great because, in contrast with the Amplitube 5, you can get the Positive Grid Bias FX 2 for $99 to $199 depending on what version you get. You can get the standard, the Pro, and the Elite version, I think, which just has a bunch of different stuff in it, but this amplifier comes with any of the versions. Once you get some free IRs and a free IR loader like NAT IR, it sounds really great, what can I tell you. But yep, that will be for that amplifier. Let's go to the last one. Okay, this is the last one. This is the Ugritone / VTarAmp's P.R.O.T.O 4. I'm saying / VTarAmps because this is heavily based on the VTarAmp's Mega Fuzzy MK4, so another Mesa sounding amp, but this is obviously very tweaked to sound like a dual rectifier. It has a bunch of options which I have mostly turned off, and this is how it sounds with the EQ that I'm using for every other amplifier. So this is how it sounds. sounds amazing. Sounds really good, and again, it sounds even better knowing that the P.R.O.T.O 4 is absolutely free. You can get it in the VTarAmp's website for completely free. It's insane that a free plugin sounds this fucking good. As I told you guys, these are not in any specific order like number 10 to number 1, but this is pretty much top 3. Depending on your likings, if you like the amps brighter, if you like them more dark, this is very tweakable. You can get a ton of sounds from this one, from the amount of controls it has, but yeah, it's really great. If I had to choose 3 to play every single day, I would choose this one, I would choose the Pectifier, and I would choose the LeCto, if you want to hear my opinion. But yeah, that will be pretty much for the demo. Let's go to my personal opinions and the outro, so I'll see you right there. Okay guys, so as you could hear, those are some pretty interesting results. As you can see with VSTs, money is not necessarily a guarantee for quality. Some of these, which were kinda expensive in my opinion, didn't sound good at all. And some were just okay, while some of the cheap ones and some of the free ones were actually among the best. But that order is basically just my opinion. I want to know what your guys' opinion is on this matter, so if you think I'm wrong and this one sounds better than this one, leave it down below in the comments. And the links to get every single one of these will be down below in the description, in case you really want them. But that will be pretty much everything for today's video. If you really like this video, please leave a like down below. That will help me immensely because YouTube will recommend my video to other people. And if you have seen any of my other videos and you like them as well, please subscribe because I'm trying to put out as many interesting content as I can. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!